Good. So this project was made possible with an industry and academia collaboration with Procon Consulting. From the industry side, we had Mr. Stephen DeVito and Mr. John Sardokowski. From academia side, we had Dr. Karishma Afsari and I, Shrejit Haldar. And I would request Dr. Afsari to say a few words about the collaboration.
Hi, everyone. I'm Karish Afsari. I'm an assistant professor here at Virginia Tech. The work that Srijit is going to present is a collaboration between Virginia Tech and Procon Consulting. Procon Consulting is a construction management company. They provide owners representative services, and they focus a lot on progress monitoring and design and construction coordination. They are focused a lot on innovation in construction, and we were really lucky to have the opportunity to work with them on a year-long project on evaluating this robotic technology that you're going to hear from Srijit. And this work was one part of our collaboration. Here at Virginia Tech, I run the ARCADE Lab. ARCADE stands for Automation and Robotics in Construction and Design Engineering. We focus on a lot of projects around drones, automation, robots, smart technology, and also human safety, comfort, and well-being. We also work on workforce training and education. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Srijit, and I hope that you enjoy this work that Srijit has put together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Afsari. So our research area is basically the construction inspection. And as you know, construction is full of uncertainties, and there are a lot of risks related to the cost and schedule. And this requires regular and frequent inspection of the project. And there are many stakeholders who are involved in the inspection process. For example, architect, engineers, consultants, project manager, and many more. Many construction companies have started using digital documentation tools using 360-degree cameras. For example, this is one example of a documentation tool where you have the 2D floor plan of the building, and then you set the waypoints, and then a human inspector clicks or captures a 360-degree image from that location, which then can be used by any stakeholder to be updated about the progress information. 360-degree images are beneficial because they eliminate one single 360-degree image can eliminate multiple 2D images captured from a smartphone. So from capturing point of view, it is more efficient. It also provides a sense of presence because of the continuity in the image. Typically, this is how a human inspector captures an image with 360-degree camera and using this type of tool. He has a tablet PC, an iPad in his one hand, and which is running the app, and where he can see the floor plan and the points where the images will be captured. He localizes himself using physical landmarks like the column here or the beam on the top, and once he's at the position, he uses the 360-degree camera to click an image. So we want to test our research is basically an exploratory research where we wanted to find out if it is possible to automate this process using a Leggett robot. The advantage of having robot is that they can work autonomously and they can capture the images more frequently every day, multiple times of a day, so that the most updated information is always available to all the stakeholders. It also facilitates remote inspection if a certain project stakeholder cannot come to the project site because they are managing multiple sites in any given time. So they can use it from a central location to manage multiple projects. For this experiment, we used the Spot robot, which is a quadruped robot by Boston Dynamics, meaning it has 4 legs. Having legs allow it to navigate on unfinished surfaces, which is more prevalent on construction sites. It also enables the robot to navigate to multiple floors using the stairs. which is more important, so that so that the robot can monitor the whole building without any human assistance. This robot also has built-in autonomy features. You can record paths and then it can repeat those paths and click images, or you can also control it programmatically through Wi-Fi connection using the SDK provided by the manufacturer. So our proposed methodology is to create a 3D virtual environment and extract the information from the BIM model and use that information for mission planning to generate the path, and then use that mission information to control the robot programmatically, autonomously, and the robot will complete the mission, take images, and then send back those images to the virtual environment for visualization, which can be used by the inspector. Now, the advantage of having a 3D virtual environment over a 2D floor plan is that in 2D floor plan, it is difficult to show multiple disciplines. For example, if you want to show architecture, electrical, mechanical, structural in one drawing, it makes it too cluttered to be any useful. But having a 3D virtual environment is not only more intuitive, but you can also see different models from different disciplines all together at once. So for the 3D virtual environment, we exported an FBX file from Revit and we imported in Unity. Unity is primarily a game engine which is used for game development, but many researchers and even practitioners have used it for augmented reality and virtual reality development as well. Unity provides a lot of visualization features, as well as it has a scripting backend, which uses C# language. So we use the geometric information and the semantic information from the BIM model to create missions. We created these goal points in the building where the robot will go autonomously, repeatedly, and take images. And then the user can walk through this virtual environment and see these points and see the 360-degree images captured from these locations. This is the relationship between the BIM, the physical space, and the robot. So we use the information stored in the BIM and use it for localization and path planning. I'll come to this localization part in a couple of slides. So we use the path information, and then we control the robot programmatically in the real space. And then the robot, once it reaches a particular goal point, it clicks an image and then sends it back to the virtual model, virtual environment for visualization. So the methodology was implemented using Unity and Python in two parts. So the Unity was used for creating the virtual environment and for mission planning. And then the mission data was sent to the Python code through a HTTP connection to control the robot. Since the manufacturer provides the SDK in the Python language, so that's why Python was the first choice. The robot, there is a Ricoh Theta V camera attached on top of the robot, and the code triggers the camera once the robot reaches one of the points, and then sends this 360-degree image back to the virtual environment in Unity for visualization. The process starts here with the localization. We extract the information from the robot. If there is any fiducial, so I'll get back to the localization point again. So we see if there is any fiducial visible from any of the cameras all around the robot. And if it is, we get the coordinates of that. And from that, we calculate where the robot is within the space in the process called localization. And then we use that initial location information and the geometric information from the BIM. And we also use the Unity NavMesh agent, which in its backend uses the A-star search algorithm for finding the optimum path. Now for localization, we use the April tag fiducial. April tag provides fast detection for robotics, and it is widely used for localization purposes. As you can see here, an April tag is pasted on the column. It's printed on a simple letter size paper, and a virtual representation of that fiducial is paste it on this virtual column in the virtual environment. And if a particular fiducial is visible from Spot's camera, and it can calculate the it calculates the coordinates of the fiducial with respect to the body of the robot, which we use to back calculate to find out the position of the robot with respect to that fiducial. And since the location of the fiducial is already known with respect to the overall building, we find out where the robot is inside the building. And this initial location information we use for the path planning. In the second stage, we develop the mission. The mission basically the mission is a autonomous behavior, which basically comprises of the coordinates on the path and also the coordinates of the goal points with respect to different fiducials. And when the robot executes the mission, it finds which is the closest fiducial, and then it gets the coordinate of every point with respect to the closest fiducial. And then we move the robot to all the points one by one. On the path, there are goal points and there are waypoints. So waypoints are intermediate points which are the robot will go through one by one, but won't capture an image. But in the goal point, the robot will capture an image. We also use the semantic information from the BIM model to define the spaces, surfaces which are walkable and non-walkable. So we defined the elements belonging to the floor, the door, and the stairs family to be walkable, and other things like the walls as non-walkable surfaces. This is useful to calculate the optimum path so that the robot does not go through the wall, but instead goes through the door. And so we tested this methodology in the Bishop Favreau Hall of Virginia Tech campus. We created 6 goal points in the second floor of the building. We started the robot from here, and the robot went through all of these goal points one by one and clicked an image. Here is a small demo of the overall implementation. So on your left here, you can see the whole left side is the virtual environment. And on the extreme left, you see the overall view. And in the middle here, you see it from the robot's point of view. And on your right, you see the real environment. So once we had set the goal point, the program calculates the mission, the path, and then it controls the robot through the path using the SDK. So once it reaches a particular goal point, it stops there and triggers the camera to capture a 360-degree image. The 360-degree image is stored in the camera until the end of the mission, and after that, it is extracted to be visualized in the virtual environment. So once the mission is completed, those images are sent back to Unity for visualization, and those 360-degree images are applied as textures to these spheres, and then the user can do and walk through the virtual environment like in Navisworks. But in this, not only they can see the model, but they can also see the reality captures from these points. So the user can control the virtual robot through their mouse or mouse and keyboard. So this is an ongoing research project, and we are still figuring out how we can make it more autonomous and independent, and so that it requires much less human assistance. But there are still some limitations of the study. For example, we rely on the as-built model of the building. If the model is not available, or if it is not exact representation of the actual building, then the mission might fail. We also use anchor-based or marker-based localization. We use the April tag fiducials, which are basically printed on letter-size papers and pasted on the job site. And the idea is to have it stay there, and then the robot will use it every day to complete the mission. But if the fiducials are dislocated or torn or obscured away by some obstacle, then the mission will fail and the robot will get confused, because it is expecting that fiducial at particular location. We also did not take into account blocked paths. For example, if this door had been closed, then the robot will get stuck like this. The manufacturer provides a robotic arm which can be used to open the doors like this autonomously, but we did not test that in this current study. In future work, we can also use digital twins and also use the images captured by the robot to update the digital twins. We can use deep learning models or computer vision to extract the knowledge from the images and then use that to update the digital twin of the building. We can also integrate this with virtual reality so that the remote inspector can have a more immersive experience. They can have a more intuitive experience, and as if they are actually present at the site. And then there can be some reliability and usability studies with on-site experiments on construction site with human inspectors, and to gauge their opinion, what would make this type of methodology more acceptable to them. These are some of the references, and if you're interested in this topic, you can also follow our other works. We tested the robot in a construction site, and we saw what are the fundamentals of using it for construction progress monitoring. We also tested the accuracy of the autonomous navigation, and then we also tried to identify what are the effectiveness indicators for evaluating such robots for automated progress monitoring in construction. And these are our contact information. We can take any questions, or if you have even later, you can send it on email. Thank you.